Okay, so last night I went online and actually found some Model A hinges for pretty cheap. I got a set of 4 for I think $6 or $7, and there's $4 for shipping. So all totaled about 11 something shipped to my house. So they'll be here in a couple of days. But I started doing some research and stumbled upon something you guys probably know about, and I'm just new to the game here. And it's a way to make your own penetrating oil at home, which all the videos I've seen, it's way more effective than any of the penetrant fluid that I've been using. I've been using PB Blaster, and I've been using the Seafoam Deep Creep, and I even used the liquid wrench stuff, and I think that was it. There's also Croil, the Croil oil that I haven't used, but supposedly that's the best. There was a manufacturer that actually made a chart where they had some seized nuts and bolts, and they measured how many foot-pounds it took to break them loose. And I think, if I remember correctly, with no oil, it was 500 something foot-pounds, and then PB Blaster, all the other ones were like 200 something foot-pounds. The Kroll was like 103 or something like that. But then this DIY solution was actually down to 50 something foot-pounds of torque. So what I thought was, hey, maybe I'll give it a try. And if it works, you guys will obviously see the results of that. So let's dive in. Okay, so here's the DIY solution. It's just equal parts acetone. There you go, acetone. And good old ATF, transmission fluid. Now you can use the synthetic. This is not synthetic. But it'll do just fine. So equal parts 50-50 acetone and ATF. Now I'm just going to mix up a little bit. I didn't have an actual container, either a spray bottle or an oil can that some of the videos I watched used. But I'm going to use these paint mixing cups, since I do know that these can withstand the chemical acetone. This stuff evaporates really quickly, but here's what it actually does. Since transmission fluid has a very, very, very high viscosity, it can fit into the little nooks and crannies of your transmission. That's why this is used for your transmission. And that's what we're looking to do. So with these rusted bolts, we want this stuff to creep in and get into all of the threads and into all the rusted areas and all that sort of stuff, so it can actually start to break apart the rust. The acetone is actually, it does something chemically to the rust, where it breaks it up into iron carbonate instead of iron oxide. That is much easier for it to break up. And it also thins the tranny fluid, which helps the creeping quality of it. So, equal parts acetone, equal parts transmission fluid. Mix it up, because these two are different densities apparently, and they don't mix together. So every time you use it, you have to mix it or shake it. So I'm just going to do a little bit until I can go to the store and get an actual container to put this stuff in, if it actually works like the videos claim they do. So 1 part tranny fluid. Poquito más. Okay, I think that's about right. It's also a good idea to wear gloves. Although these chemicals are not good for you to breathe or have in contact with your skin, it's probably okay if it's just a little tiny bit, but you got gloves, might as well use them. Come on, baby. This might be a new can. Why did I make them child-proof? Whew, that was on there. Okay, so now equal parts. Let's see if I can do this without getting it everywhere. Stuff always gets everywhere. Need a little bit more. And get this rag. Good thing it evaporates quickly and it cleans really well. Just a splash more. Okay, I think that's pretty good right there. It's pretty close to 50-50 or 1-to-1 ratio, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so since I just poured it in there, you can see it's mixed already pretty well. But shake it. Smells like acetone. And you can see it kind of sort of wanting to mix together. I'll dump it in those hinges and see how it works. Okay, so this thing has been soaking for a couple of days in our solution we made up of 50-50 automatic transmission fluid, not antifreeze, ATF, and acetone. It's been soaking for a couple of days, which the videos I saw, they only had them soaking for a couple of hours. Maybe it won't work. Maybe I need to soak it for a couple of hours, but I'm hoping that the longer time it's soaked, maybe it's done more. I don't know. We'll find out together. The acetone evaporates really quickly, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe it did its job and now it's evaporated and it's just ATF on there, which is going to help with it actually breaking loose, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. But I think it's fairly obvious at this point that I'm making it up as I go along. So you're going to find out with me if it actually worked. Now, after doing a little bit of research, I'm pulling these old hinge pins out. A lot of people said it's better to pull it from the top than it is to push it from the bottom, because if it's too wedged in there and hard to get out, a lot of people said what happens a lot of time is you actually mushroom the bottom of the pin right here, and then it won't want to come out. And looking at this from hammering on it, that may be the case. So what I might end up doing is just kind of drilling the bottom part out just to see if I can get through that mushroomed thing at the end. But we'll try it, see what happens. I'm hoping it'll work, because this is a pain in the butt and it's taken way too long. Well, here we go.
Kick me, I'm almost down to the ground. Just need one more thing to not go my way today, yeah. Why didn't my alarm wake me up this morning? Today I need you to be just a little understanding, 'cause I know there's something in the air, and I swear it's driving me crazy. I just wanna play my guitar, forget about my worries, 'cause they don't mean nothing. I just wanna try to move on, forget about this. No one wants to hear me complain.
Well, as you can see, it didn't really do anything. I really do suspect that on the bottom of the hinge pin down here, the pin has actually been mushroomed out because it's so stuck in there. And I just keep bending and mushrooming these pins that go in the tool here that are supposed to push that out. As you saw, I tried to drill it out a little bit. I couldn't get very much out. I didn't want to drill too much because I didn't want to jack up the hinge, but I tried to heat it. I used MAP gas this time, which is way hotter than just propane. Might have to bust out the torch and get that thing glowing red hot. But it's not budging. So, after 90 years being on fire, sitting out in the weather, it's pretty well fused together. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to a different pin on a different hinge on the other side of the car that doesn't look as bad as this one and see if I can get that one to break free. I did soak all of the hinges in that 50-50 mix. So, or maybe 2 days was too long. Maybe I'll soak it again and let it sit for 2 hours and see if that works. Okay. New plan, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I got the hinge pin remover tool I made set up on the rear passenger side door. This hinge pin right here looks like it has the least amount of rust out of all of them. So I'm hoping this one will be the easiest one. So let's crank on it and see what we got.
Forget about this. Try to move on. Forget about this. Try to move on. Forget about this.
Can't tell if that pin is bending again. Let's take it out and see what happens. Feels like it's going pretty easy though. Let's see what we got. Oh, maybe not. Well, looks like it got pushed up there. Oh, success. It's starting to go up. Awesome, awesome.
Just wanna play my guitar. Forget about my worries, 'cause they don't mean nothing. Just wanna try to move on. Forget about this, no one wants to hear me complain. Complain.
Dang it.
Try to move on. Forget about this. Try to move on. Forget about this. Try to move on. Forget about this.
I bent another one of these pins. I've bent like 5 of them now. 0 for 5. Come on, hinge puller. You can also see it pushed it up that much, and then that's when it stopped and the hinge pin remover pin thing started bending. You can see the bottom where it's trying to push through. That part on the top of the hinge pin has some knurls on it, and that actually looks pretty rust free. So maybe the pushing up from the bottom is actually not a good idea, because maybe it is mushrooming the bottom of the pin, which makes it get stuck, which is probably why those hardened steel pins in the hinge pin remover tool are bending. May have to rethink this. I think I might have to come up with some kind of tool that will fit in there once I pop it up enough and actually pull it out from the top. Well, I'll try it again. Back to the drawing board. So I got the Model A pins that came in the mail today, and without even opening the package, I'm looking at these, and they are way too small. So just not even the diameter of the pin, but also the head on the pin is way smaller than the Dodge. If you look at the comparison, it's not even close. Model A pins are way smaller. I think the diameter or the width of it is smaller than the Dodge pin as well. So there goes that idea. That's not gonna work.